And welcome to the Coach and Coach podcast. We are back again, man. After a rough Friday night, we decided to come on back to y'all guys. We took our L like grown men. We handled it properly and we just went on about our business. But I am the defensive coordinator. Don't know what my job is anymore because I can't stop nothing. I couldn't stop all the criticism I got this weekend. Went to the barbershop, they lit me up. Went to church and they lit me up. So I gave up a lot of points this weekend and could not stop nobody. So it's up to the offense to make it happen tonight. I'm the defensive coordinator. I'm Coach Marks, and the guy that's right beside me is the offensive coordinator. That is Coach Benji. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and set your notifications so you will not miss an episode. You can go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you listen to your podcast at. You can listen live, and you don't want to miss an episode, man. We've been having fun with this. Also, you can follow us on our YouTube page, Coach and Coach Podcast. You can also go to our Facebook page, our Instagram page, TikTok page, which we will be doing a lot more on TikTok for you guys. But Coach, rough weekend, man.
Yeah, bounced back on a Saturday though. I flushed it personally and tried to watch as much football as I could so I could get on here and give some honest takes and had a good day yesterday. Got to take the kids to like a Halloween festival and watched as much football as I could. Watched I'm a Jackson Dart guy, so I watched him this morning and that was or this afternoon and that was rough. So I guess I'm back in the dumps. But NFL wise, I'm a Titans fan. I'm gonna be in the basement for a while as far as that's concerned.
Well, I mean, at least right now you're not losing yet completely. So you still got a chance. At least you're not a Ravens fan, expectations. And then we look like this. So, hey, man, it's just been a tough weekend for football for me. That's why I decided to go all Ole Miss today. As you can see in my background, I am very upset and very sad. It's time to blow it up. It's time to make a change. But we'll talk about the NFL when the NFL get here. But, man, tough football weekend, man. I tell you what, when you talk as much as I talk, and you are the offensive coordinator. I take more chances on defense. I'm the type of guy I blitz a lot, and I probably put us in bad positions. My bad, coach. But I blitz a lot, man. I'm sending people. I'm zero coverage. Probably 80% of the time, I'm trying to get the sack. I'm trying to get the big play. And me trying to get the big play this week, it backfired on me. So yeah, rough day, man. I didn't even want to go get my hair cut, but I did. And man, he lit me up. Him and his nephew was there, and it was nonstop, just constant blowing us up. And man, those as soon as I walked into church this morning. Matter of fact, it wasn't even when I got into the church. They waited. I think the one of my associate ministers, he waited until I pulled up, and he waited in his car. Yeah, waited in his car until I got out, and they all just let me have it, man. It was a difficult day, so I'm glad you were able to not have to be around it all weekend. I did not get that luxury. It was tough on the old coach, but you know what? Hey, we back for another. We just got to flush, like you said, we got to flush it down, and we just got to do it again. But we're going to jump right into it, man. We're going to go straight to the Bruce and Water Valley game. As you know, Bruce lost their first game of the season on Friday night, losing to Water Valley 34-20. Um, it was a rough night all around, and man, it just everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah, I thought that I said it in the fast paced offense rapid reaction segment we did that it just seemed like it was like banging our head against the wall trying to get some offense to generate some offense, and then defensively they played pretty good at times, but then you had a few plays that kind of cost you. And overall, I think like my coaching philosophy is that you can always go back to find three plays in a game that make or break you. And I mean, there's three plays that stick out in my mind, and not a single one of them went our way.
And it was more at stake with just getting to the undefeated season. That number one seed was very important because the way the brackets have set up, you will get those first two games at home. And that's gonna now we have to now you never know what's gonna happen. Water Valley, could drop one of those games in coming up. But if they do win out and we win out, they will be the number one seed and we'll be the number two seed, and that will give Water Valley an opportunity to host that first round of the playoff and the second round. And for us, we'll get to host that first round, but we would have to go on the road in the second round. And it was more at stake than the undefeated season. And not saying that you can't bounce back from it, but man, it really when you saw what could have happened, it's almost like a gut punch. It's like one of those mornings you wake up and just like, man, I got five out of the six lottery numbers, and we got the number six, and I couldn't get it.
Yeah, but um, I think for Bruce it should be easy to get up off the mat because everything. There's a group of seniors sitting in the locker room that's, they've been to the playoffs, but they've never hosted a playoff game.
Yeah.
They've never got to. I think what did that team? I guess has been this senior group sophomore year. Was that a 6-5? Yeah. Um. So there's a chance to get to a sixth and seventh and eighth win in the regular season, and I think that having those are big goals that are still accomplishable, and they haven't been done. So I think that a lot of great goals to set forward that can get you up off the mat.
Yeah, and let me trying to turn this volume down on this other thing, and that's where we're at. Just looking at the numbers from on Friday night. Bruce, we had a bad throwing night, one of the worst throwing nights we've had all season. Joshua Long, who got hit a lot of times on, if he's not still in the ice tub now, he is a bionic man because he took some licks on that night. He was 418 um, for just 50 yards. We only had 57 yards receiving, passing on that night. Aiden Welch was 1 for 2 for seven. Naquan on rushing, he had 20 carries for 91 yards. A lot of carries um, for the young guy. And Hatchett only had one carry for a -1 yard, and Joshua Long had 18 carries for 107 yards. And even though that's a good number statistically, you don't want your running back. I mean, you don't want your quarterback taking that many hits.
Yeah, and I don't. If he got to 107 with like sack adjusted yards, I mean, he would have had an incredible night if we could have kept him upright. If that's sack adjusted, because he
I believe it is. It is.
well, that's impressive that he got to that number.
And he's the type of quarterback he don't shy away. You want him to kind of sometimes not take that lick. I know it was a couple times that he had an opportunity. I know we talked about it. He had an opportunity to kind of just make one move, but in his mind, he just lowered his helmet and he just ran through the guy. And that's fine and it's good to boost everybody. But man, you're our quarterback. We need you. And you don't want to be taking that many hits. And he took a lot of hits on that night. Also, receiving on that night, Marcus Brownlee had 2 catches for 12 yards, and Jermaine Jackson had 3 catches for 45 yards. I actually bumped into Mr. Tight End, and I was just joking with him, and I asked him. I said, "Man," I said, "how many times was you targeted?" And he said, "Probably about 3, 4 times." He said, "Man," he said, "Coach, they triple teamed me all night." And they wasn't. They basically said, "We're not going to let you beat us," because he has been the key factor in the last 3 games. I mean, just going across that middle, and that when he didn't get a catch that night, and only off of only 3 targets. So right there, that's a recipe for not a successful night. Defensively, Marcus Brownlee had another spectacular night. Had 12 tackles, 5 solo, 2 tackle for losses. Naquan, to couple with his 20 carries, also had 7 tackles. Jeremiah Hatchett had 8 tackles. Tylen Eccles from the defensive end had 10 tackles, and those were the high tackle guys. But you had a lot. You had a lot of good things to say about Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know why. I haven't. I've always been like I'm an offensive guy. I always I'll watch the defense, but I never really just shout out. I haven't been on here just giving a bunch of shout outs, but I think that there's several guys on that defense that need a shout out, and it starts with Marcus Brownlee. Like the sideline, like just watching him run sideline to sideline from that backer position, super impressive. Like he's sneaky fast for his size, and I mean he runs it down. Like I thought defensively, your defensive ends like Bryson and coach got to help me out. Who's the other end?
Tylen is the other end.
Tylen Eccles. I think they and them and then Cade and Naquan were doing a really good job spilling. And if they couldn't get guys down, here comes Marcus was cleaning it up.
Yeah, he was coming full. He's coming full steam ahead. And then not only that is the way he closes. He closes like a classic linebacker. Once he see and he V lines, man, he go full speed. He is not afraid of contact.
Yeah, I think he's developed so much as far as his read keys, fitting the run, and getting to the ball, like you said, closing. Like
Yeah.
I just after watching, I noticed it a few weeks ago, but after watching the other night, I was like, I don't think there's enough good things you can say about him. Like, I mean, he deserves a shout out.
Well, looking ahead, what Bruce got ahead now? Next week they have East Union, a winless East Union team, and they come to Bruce, and then Bruce will have a non-conference game. They travel to MS Palmer, the that infamous fall break week. That's usually a tough week, but it's a lot easier, I believe, when you're winning. When you're losing and you get to that fall break, it's one of the worst worst 3 days that you could ever imagine, because when you're losing, the kids are not very motivated, and just to get them out there for 3 days. So I don't believe that'll be an issue during the fall break week. And then on that following week, the next game they get Myrtle at home, and then they get Strayhorn, and Strayhorn lost to Coffeyville this Friday night. It was Coffeyville homecoming, gave Coffeyville their first win of the season. So not saying those, anything can happen in 4 games, but there's a strong possibility that Bruce could run the table right there and end up 9-1 on the season and the number 2 seed.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that that's on the table for you, I just expect them to bounce back in a big way this week, and then I don't see this group, just the way they are, like the connectedness and the tightness of this group. I don't see the fall break being the issue that we've known it to be in the past. I just don't see it. I think they'll be fine.
And like I said, the coaching staff, they are in a position to where they're getting the most out of the players. I was even checking during Labor Day, and that used to be, when there's not a lot of motivation, not a lot of expectation, that usually be a time where you have a trouble getting people out. But like you said, I do believe that going into this fall break will be fine.
Yeah, I completely agree. I just think it's a group that it's going to be easy to sell. I mean, I've said it a few times already, but it's going to be easy to sell what's in front of them, because they've got a chance to get to a spot that they haven't been, and I think they just come across as a mature group too. Like they're mature, so I think they'll be fine.
They have a lot of football under their belt. These seniors have a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
They have a lot of minutes under their belt. A lot of them seniors been playing since they were freshmen. They had no choice.
Yeah.
And they've been out there for a long time. So they have a lot of minutes in under their belt. And, a couple of the seniors, you can see the pain and the frustration in their eyes after the game. And that was huge for me. That was huge for me. It was some of them that had to be dragged off the field, because it was that much passion about it. And it's good to see passion in the players. It's good to see players that care about winning and losing, caring about how you play. And that's something that if you want to take out of Friday night's game, we can take it. Let us roll on to the rest of 2A, because now we're going to really start focusing on those specific classes, because we're close. Now we're into that division season now, and we need to know what other teams are doing, because these are the teams we're going to be matching up with. We're going to look at all the 2A ball. You got Clarksdale winning 12-6 over it's Clarkdale winning 12-6 over Bay Springs. Biggersville went to Baldwin and beat them 27-6. East Webster beat Kemper County 49-20. Really got to keep an eye on East Webster, because East Webster, that division, we'll see that division in the second round. Pelahatchie told West Lincoln, "You do not deserve to be on the field with us." Beat them 64-6. Walnut beat Ashland 36-6. Weston beat Enterprise 48-6. You got Scott Central over Puckett 49-0. Velma Jackson beats Eupora 24-20 to give Eupora their first loss of the season. Lake beat Newton 38-14. Northside, who's another team we need to keep an eye on, they beat JZ George 44-0. Count City took Hamilton to the woodshed, told them that you don't belong here, and beat them 50-15 at their homecoming. Leland beat MS Palmer 36-8. Noxubee County beat Philadelphia 28-20. North Forest beat Collin 30-20. You got Lumberton beating Perry Central 26-20. East Marion beat Sacred Heart 36-14. Heidelberg decided to just not let Enterprise get anything going. I don't know if it was the rental car that showed up or the players, but whoever did not score. Heidelberg beat Enterprise 58-0. Myrtle beat East Union, keeping East Union winless 35-6. Okolona beat Hatley 33-28. Lamar beat Mize 34-27. Lloyd Star beats Wilkinson County 29-18, and you got Coffeyville beating Strayhorn 20-14, and that is the 2A scoreboard. I want to briefly just look at the Count City games, just to look at the stats. Bud Pittman must be hurt because he didn't log in no carries this week, so I'm going to assume he's hurt. I am going to give Coach Jennings a call this week, and before we get back, by the time we get to the Thursday show, I have a report on Bud Pittman. But on that night, they beat Hamilton 50-15. They used three quarterbacks that night, and obviously so. When you're blowing out a team, you don't want to burn out your hogs like you would normally do. But Carson Lawrence was 4 of 8 for 42 yards. Harlan Pittman, who had an amazing night in the air and on the ground, he was 6 for 9 for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bryson West was 1 of 1 of 6 for 6 yards and a touchdown. Now, rushing, this is where Count City makes their money. This is where they make this is where they make their house right here. Zay Pittman had 4 carries for 88 yards. Carson Lawrence had 1 carry for 2 yards. Harlan Pittman, quarterback, had 5 carries for 166 yards. Yes, Bryson West had 3 carries for 2 yards. And Darian Mays had 3 carries for 20 yards. On the night, which was probably an abbreviated night, Count City ended up with 486 yards total. On the receiving end, Jalen Jackson 1 catch for 68 yards and a touchdown. Trell Doro had 3 catches for 55 yards. Jennings had 1 catch for 2. Shane Former had 1 catch for 12 yards and a touchdown. Armstrong had 2. Number 6, Armstrong had 2 catches for 23 yards and a touchdown. So Count City is rolling right now, and just to look at their schedule coming up, like I said, like we said earlier, I don't see anybody. They only have 3 games remaining. They are off this week. They have a bye this week, and then they get Okolona, they get Vardaman, and they get West Lowndes. Count City looks pretty much locked in to win that division and be the number 1 seed. And they will match up with that division that Coffeyville is in. So really, outside of the teams that further north, Biggersville, I feel like it all depends on where that game going to be at.
Yeah, I'm with you. After hearing their remaining schedule, I think they'll coast in with a division title.
And it seems like it's not just trying to just take away from other teams, but sometimes you just got to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And I don't see nobody in their division touching them. They will be running clock the rest of the year, at least in the regular season. Vardaman got a big win over Thrasher, 42-0. Bedford, who is on his second game back from his suspension. Remember, he got suspended, got ejected in the Bruce game. And in the Mississippi Association now, you get ejected in a football game, that's going to cost you 2 games. In basketball and baseball, it's going to cost you 2 weeks. So it's very important that the players pay attention to what they're saying and what they're doing, because it's going to cost you. But in his second game back, he was at quarterback. You know, Vardaman is not a heavy throwing team. He's 5 of 7 for 113 yards, 2 touchdowns thrown, but he also had 7 carries for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. He accounted for 5 touchdowns.
Very efficient night.
Yeah, he accounted for basically 80-90% of Vardaman's offense. You got Grant Parker had a carry for 3 yards. You had Jack Moore had 2 carries for 54 yards and 2 touchdowns. You had Clevis West. Got to be Clevis West Jr. It can't be the Clevis West I know that used to punt for Calhoun City. It's got to be his son right here. But Clevis West had 1 carry for 8 yards. And on the receiving end, you had Keaton Moore had a catch for 3 yards. You had Grant Parker had 2 catches for 52 yards and a touchdown. You had McGregor had 1 catch for 48 yards and a touchdown. And you had Jack Moore. Jack Moore had a catch for 10 yards. So just looking at Vardaman for the rest of the year and what they got coming up, they get West Lowndes, then they get Calhoun City, and they get Okolona. What's the possibility or what's the chance of Vardaman somehow getting that second seed?
I mean, they've shown improvement. I think, one thing I've seen around the area is it seems like there's a little more any given Friday night vibe to it. I've heard some scoreboard shows have been like, really? So, you never say never. I think there's a chance.
The only thing I see is both of the games that they need. Both of the games they need are both on the road. They got to go to Columbus and play West Lowndes, and they got to go to Okolona. And Okolona is a tough, gritty, smash mouth. We're gonna punch you in the mouth type team. Now with having Bedford, he is an X factor for Vardaman, and he gives it as long as he's on the field, he gives them an opportunity to win the ball game. We saw them. We still see how tough they can be defensively. They still got a gritty defensive line that's nasty and will do whatever they need to do to win the ball game. So the likelihood is there's not saying it's not a possibility, but I do believe that if they could get the West Lowndes game, which will be in a couple of weeks, they get Hamilton. They got to go to Hamilton, and I tell you what, their schedule, Vardaman's schedule, was not built for the weak of heart. They had to go to Nanawaya. They had to go to Water Valley. They go to Hamilton. They go to West Lowndes, and then they go to Okolona. They've had some very tough road games, and they got tough road games ahead.
Yeah, that's anytime you're in that 1A and you're playing 3A schools, it's tough anyway. And you had Water Valley on your schedule. You had a much improved Bruce team, and they're with a new head coach, new staff, but I think looking at stats and scores over the last few weeks, they've made some strides and improvements. I think they're getting there.
So what would you say is a successful year? Is them getting that second seed? Would that be something amazing, or is it something that they shouldn't celebrate?
From what I saw week 2, yeah, because to me, looking at them offensively, they just look very challenged as far as being able to push the ball downfield. But having the Braylon kid back, that changes things. So, having him back full time, you could get there. But I think that would be, especially in that division, I think that's hitting your ceiling, in a way. No disrespect, but that's a tough division.
You're playing for second. I mean, it's the same thing I went through with last year with Ingomar in our girls division. It sucked because last year was probably one of our best girls teams we had in a long time. A very talented team, but you had Ingomar, and Ingomar just stood in the way. If you remove Ingomar out the way, we probably make a run to Jackson because our bracket would have been a little bit better. So it's almost the same situation. Calhoun City is just a monster right now, and nobody's going to really get them in their division. And it's if you fighting for that second. That second is important. You don't want to go on the road. You've been on the road enough. So Vardaman, I'm talking to you. You've been on the road enough. Go ahead and get that second seed so you can play at home. Just to look at some more area scores, you got Kasup beating Boonville 37-10. Aberdeen beats Winona 44-36. 80. What is that? 80 points. There was no defense going on that night. Corinth told South Pontotoc, you don't belong on my field, and they showed it Corinth beats South Pontotoc 63-0. North Pontotoc beats New Albany 26-22. You got Faulkner beating Smithville on I saw the replay. The last play of the game, Smithville was driving and they were about to break on a play, and the Faulkner defense showed up and they sealed that win. Faulkner have really turned their season around, and I'm curious to see how they're going to fare in their division. You got Itawamba HS beating Morville 41-0. West Point, number one West Point, beating Callaway 42-0. I usually don't bring up these scores, but man, I just want to bring it up. Columbus Christian Academy 68, Calhoun Academy 64. That was 132 points in a game.
Nothing but offense.
Oh my goodness, man! That is if you look at that and you blink your eye, you'll think that Academy started basketball. 68 to 64. You got East Webster. We've already talked about them. Let's see, and that's about all. You got Belmont beating Alcorn Central 22-6. You got New Hope beating Saltillo 62-20. Tupelo beats Hartsville Academy 35-0 to bounce back from the loss on last week. Noxubee County beat Philadelphia 28-20. And you got Shannon. Oh my goodness, Shannon scored 65 against Pontotoc. They beat Pontotoc at Pontotoc 65-29. Houston gets their first win of the season, beating Amory. I don't know, Chris Jones were here this weekend, so they might have just wanted to, hey, we're going to show out for Chris Jones and make sure that his investment is not being thrown in the garbage. But they beat Amory 40-33. Choctaw County beats Nettleton 48-6. So those are the area scores of this weekend. So high school football is in full effect. Man, it's starting to pick up now. And I like this time of the year because now, not saying the first part of the season didn't matter, but this is the time that it really matters.
Yeah, this is where when I played, Coach Ray, you got in this part you played, he would be like, you look at it as a new season, the hay's in the barn, go get what's yours. Now it's go get it time.
And that's where it is. You tune up for now. It's almost like, even in NFL or SEC games, it's more scattered out. It's more, it's spaced out in between. But when you got that SEC game, it's something about that game opposed to playing, Ole Miss might be playing Florida State or they might be playing somebody else. But when it comes to playing Florida, it's just a different vibe. So we're going to wrap up the high school section. Hey guys, if you are looking for a way to hydrate in a way that can that makes things just a little bit better and that you're not thirsty anymore, you need to try Patriot Liquid Oxygen Water. It helps oxygenate the body, and this relieves hypoxia, which is a condition of inaccurate oxygen deep in the cell. Because this drinks give one energy, it's recommended that it not be taken after dinner or you'll have trouble sleeping. So if you want to boost your liquid intake, you need to get you some Patriot Liquid Oxygen. That's Patriot Liquid Oxygen. If you go to their website, which will be posted in our comment section, go ahead and type in Coach 25. And when you type that in, you'll get 15% off your first order. So if you want to be hydrated in a way that you've never been hydrated before, go ahead and order you some Patriot Liquid Oxygen Water. Coach, college football yesterday was amazing.
Yeah, it was a good day.
And Ole Miss did not lose yesterday. I'm very proud of that.
You got to sit back and be stress-free and just enjoy it all.
And just watch the game. But we had two big do you want to call them big upsets?
One of them, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Like Penn State game, I'd absolutely call that an upset. Florida, I think it was surprising, but I at least in my picks, I had a Florida. I picked Florida, so I just had a feeling.
I was more shocked at how Texas offense could not get going. They had some spurts. I watched the game. They had little spurts where they were, decent and okay, but they never could get going. They never could get going. And Florida, you said that Florida's defense is top notch. And yesterday, I was able to see how dominant that they can be.
Yeah, there's NFL guys on that side of the ball, and Texas to me offensively, their offensive line is just struggling,
Yeah.
and I think that's where it starts. I don't think they generate a good enough run game to help Arch out. I think Arch is a guy that's at this point of his in his development. I don't think he's throwing guys open. I think he has to see guys open, and you're getting him holding on to the ball a little longer than you'd like, and you're seeing sacks or he's holding it so long, the pressure's getting to him, so that throw is just way off the mark. I mean, he'll do some nice things, but man, he will miss some guys. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even close.
I think though, once you've been hit so many freaking times,
Yeah,
that you got that internal clock. Like I don't have this much time, and I think it caused him to rush a lot of his passes. Um, at the beginning of the year, I was more upset at the writers, basically crowning him Heisman. But I also understand the pressure that he's under. Is I would want to say is a little bit deeper than what Shador went through when he was at Colorado because Shador's now if Deion would have been a quarterback, I think that it would have been pushed a little bit harder. But Arch come from quarterbacks. He come from a line of quarterbacks. His grandfather, his uncles, they were quarterbacks. They were
yeah,
quarterbacks. Crap, I wouldn't doubt if Cooper didn't play quarterback one time before Peyton became his quarterback. So the pressure to be successful is, man, it's tough on him.
it is, and I mean, outside of a couple starts last year against, non-conference, like I think what ULM might have been one of them. Outside of that, his playing experience is at Newman High School.
Limited, limited.
So to just thrust him in, I guess he's not a true freshman, but it's almost like a true freshman. Like this is his first real go in the SEC, and I just think it's tough to put that kind of expectation on someone who's not played a many meaningful college snaps. There's
I
not
got
many guys that just came in and has done that.
one similar situation was a spot guy that came in different spots. You remember Tebow?
Yeah, Tebow.
Tebow at first was just a spot guy. He came in, kind of like what Arch did last year. He came in, he run, he give a little. But the following year, Tebow. But granted, he had Steve Spurrier as his head coach too. But Tebow was a spot guy that first year, and basically just came in and just did what he could do. But then when it was his time, so in that month, Arch had a whole spring. He had the summer to get some continuity with his receivers. Like you said, the main thing that I saw is just the fact that his throws are bad, and that could be because of bad offensive line play.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of it's coming from. I just don't think they're very good up front, and I think that's the worst thing for a young quarterback. You look at Tebow played with the Pouncey twins. He had NFL guys up front. I'm not saying there's not going to be NFL guys on Texas offensive line, but they just they've not impressed me at all.
Well, Arch numbers yesterday, he was 6 for 29 for 263 yards. He threw two touchdowns, but he also threw two interceptions. DJ Lagway or DJ, I throw a lot of interceptions way. He actually had an efficient night. He was efficient day. He was 21 for 28 for 298 yards, two touchdowns and an interception. Once again, Arch Manning is when you are the lead, and a lot of those were scrambles, and that's still a problem too. He was the leading carrier and the leading rusher on yesterday,
Yeah.
and that can't happen.
I went back and looked at I mean, I like the deeper stats like your advanced analytics, and Arch averages holding the ball per pass 3.5 seconds, and
I
turn that
wish, I
to come.
wish, I wish we could find. You know what? I'm gonna try to find that, or I hope you could get that to us the next time because one of the biggest knocks on Shador Sanders, they said he held on to the ball too much.
Yeah, I'll look into that. We can
So
find that.
that was one of the big things that they said about Shador. He holds on to the ball too much. He hold on to the ball too long. And is it just that big play mentality? I just gotta make that big throw. The check down is just something that's not. It's not sexy. It's not pretty. I want the big throw.
I don't know if it's necessarily that. I mean, I'm sure some of it is. It just looked like to me that he drops back, looks, 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 tries to take off. It's like he don't know whether he wants to get outside the pocket or climb the pocket, and then he's just chunking it, and it's usually way out. Like he got smoked
Yeah.
dancing around, and then tried to get it to a check down, and I thought he got decapitated. Like he just
I remember that hit. I remember that hit. But you know what? I could hear you say that while I was sitting watching the game. I could hear you say climb the pocket.
yeah.
And he was not climbing the pocket. It was about three. I know it was three passes that I saw that even in the replay, I saw it live, but in the replay, you could see that if he would just climb the pocket, you don't even have to climb much, but just about one or two steps, then he would have got enough room to make the throw. And I could just hear you in the background just saying, climb the pocket, Arch, climb the pocket.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a guy that hasn't played a ton of meaningful college football. Like he's still figuring it out. Like that's just what it looks like to me. And I don't know, I know he's got the Manning name, and that's you probably expect more, but it just he looks like a guy that needs a lot of development. That's just what I. It's still there's still things developing there, and there's been rumors about his health too. So
He's a different Manning. He's not a drop back pass. He's not a drop back typical Manning. He's more of Archie than he is Peyton and Eli.
his ball actually looks really good when they move the pocket. Like when he's standing back there is when I see. To me, that's where he's missing. Like to me, he looks better moving around and throwing it.
And that's fine in college. You're not moving that much in because them defensive ends in the NFL, they run in 4.3s and 4.4s. You move the pocket you want to, then you will be moving into the hospital very soon because they will light you up. Just looking at is Texas done or are they out of the playoff picture?
There's losses coming. I think depending on just like if John Mateer can come back this week, I think Oklahoma gets them. I mean,
This is what they got. They got Oklahoma next week. They go to Kentucky. They go to Mississippi State. They get Vanderbilt, which is a Vandy look in their loss. Vandy look good. I had two screens going, and I was very, very, very impressed with Vanderbilt. But they play Vandy at home, but then they got to go to Georgia, and then they get Texas A&M. The chances of them winning out,
A&M's good, man.
the chances of them winning out is slim to none. So they are out of their playoff picture is over with now. Those two losses have ended that.
They're really good defensively. I just don't know if they'll. I don't know if they can generate the offense to overcome some of the matchups they're going to see. Like Vandy can score points. They can score on people. Oklahoma, I think I've got that now. Like I think that's a loss. A&M, if you think Florida and who else? I mean, trying to think back on who gave Texas the most trouble, but A&M's defense is legit, like really good. I just think there's more losses coming for Texas.
So it's trouble in the land, and they have to go to Georgia. So, any one more. I mean, to be honest with you, Coach, one, two, three, they could possibly drop three more.
Yeah,
And you talking about an epic fall.
that's a tough pill to swallow. But I think it's more likely to happen than them winning out.
A 7-5 Texas team is an epic fall. Let's go on to the other upset on the night. Winless, terrible looking terrible playing UCLA beats, and not only don't let the score fool you. There was a lot of just trying to claw back, but they beat the brakes off of Penn State. The halftime score was 27-7. So don't let the score fool you. I think Penn State started trying to push and get back, but it was too little, too late, and they beat the Nittany Lions 42-37 to get their first win. Is it over with for Penn State?
Yeah, it's over. I know I've said it weeks ago, I think, or I guess it was last week when they played Oregon. I'm not Drew Aller. I'm out on him. They let receivers like Harrison Wallace. Ole Miss got him from Penn State, saying that it's the receivers, not the quarterback. And look at what he's done for Ole Miss. Like I think as long as he's the one behind center, they're gonna be handicapped offensively, and I don't know what to say about. I thought Penn State was a really good defensive unit, but it didn't look like it yesterday. I think they're done.
And I'm sorry, Nico is not, and he didn't have a great day altogether. But the fact that they gave up 280 yards rushing,
Yeah,
to a UCLA team
that's tough.
that might have had 42 fans in attendance, like so you wasn't even affected by the fan participation. That wasn't a problem because there wasn't much, wasn't too many people there, and UCLA held their own. And what's crazy now, this is the crazy stat: UCLA is now 1-1 in the Big Ten, and Penn State is 0-2.
Yeah,
That is crazy, man.
it is.
That is crazy. So, epic fall. Two teams that were in the playoffs last year. Well, here's the big thing before we go on to the other scores in college football.
That's what it is, though. And I think that this is a trend that people need to follow in the Big Ten. And I don't know, I'm not saying it'll always turn into losses, but these teams that are traveling across the country every week to play a football game, I think that's like you're scheduling losses eventually. I don't think every game's going to turn out that way, but I think there'll be enough data because this will be the second year of it. I think you're going to like. I think that was part of it yesterday, and I think that you're going to see more of it.
Coach, look at it on a high school level. Even traveling all the way to North Side, or traveling 2 hours, or whatever the case may be, man, that takes a toll. You talking about a flight from Penn State to freaking UCLA, and then here's another thing that people don't factor in: the time difference. Just to give you an example of how time difference can really mess you up, especially when it's not something, because this can end up being a continuation if you mess around and draw 3 West teams or 2 West teams that year. I remember I went to Knoxville, Tennessee for a powerlifting meet. And man, when I got there, even though it was just an hour difference, that hour difference did something to me. That man, it was only 2 meets in my career where I did not scratched out the meet, and it was one in New Orleans and it was one in Knoxville, Tennessee. And in Knoxville, Tennessee, when I scratched out, I went back to the room and went to sleep because my body was just completely off. Really, what I should have done, I should have got there on a Thursday to adjust to what was going on. When I went to Vegas and lifted in the Nationals, I got to Vegas on Thursday. I had Friday to recover, and Saturday I lifted. So I learned better when I went to Vegas. But so even in powerlifting, it's the time difference makes a difference. So you talking about, man, they are in. Even though I understand the money aspect of it, you're hurting teams that's not used to that.
Yeah, I think at the end of the year, I'll keep up with it, and we'll see what that looks like at the end of the year.
Well, Penn State, it don't get any better for them. They do get Northwestern at home next week, and then they got Iowa. They go to Iowa, then they go to the Ohio State. They get Indiana at home, Indiana is smoking right now. They have to go to Michigan State. They get Nebraska at home, and then they have to go to Rutgers. So at least I see at least one loss.
Yeah.
So that they're completely out of the playoff picture.
Somebody every year.
Yeah.
You're talking about if they can just, you're talking about Aller not being able, if they can't generate offense, Iowa, that's what they do. They play defense. So
Yeah. So with that being said, them two, which would you say is the biggest? Who is the most surprising out of Penn State or Texas this year?
I mean, has to be Penn State just because I know that Arch had a lot of hype on him and stuff, but uh, a lot of people thought this was Penn State's year to kind of run the Big Ten. If they could get by Oregon, it was going to be theirs. I don't think that's the case. I think at the end of the day, that's still Ohio State's conference. But there was a lot of preseason hype. Franklin, Coach Franklin, really at Big Ten Media Day got up there and said like this was the best from coaching staff to players that he had
Man, he put that out there.
out there.
Um, do he survive? If let's just say Penn State drops two more, do they continue on the Franklin train, or do they? Because at some point, like I said, you college football is no longer let's just build and let's let this coach build. College football, you're paying players now. We want to win.
I think he's fine. I mean, he made it to the Final Four of the college football playoff last year. I don't think you can do it after a win. I mean, I think he'll be fine.
Just looking at the other scores in the top 25, you had number 23 BYU beats West Virginia 38-24. You have the Ohio State beating Minnesota 42-3. Miami edged a close one out. Florida State made a big push in that fourth quarter to try to make it try to get the comeback. Now for a long time it was 28-3 for a long time, and then Florida State made a run for it, but they end up losing 28-22. Oklahoma beats Kent State 44-0. You have Texas A&M, and in the first half, I thought, man, this is going to be a good one. I thought, hey, Mississippi State is going to hang with them, but something happened in that fourth quarter. Something happened in that fourth quarter.
I thought that watching it, I just thought it was just way too hard for State to generate their offense, and you could tell A&M was just like you were like, if y'all stop shooting yourself in the foot, you're fine. And I guess they obviously figured that out. My phone, I was at a fall festival and watched it on my phone, and my phone died. Then I got home just in time to I was listening to it on the radio, but it was kind of starting to be a rout by the time I got home. I kind of missed some of what got the game blown open.
Yeah, I didn't really catch that fourth quarter. Man, them late night when you 48 late games just don't sit well with you. You try and you try and you try, but man, my eyes got heavy. And before I knew it, I was like, well, I'm gonna wake up and State gonna mess around and pull this off. But they unfortunately fell to A&M 31-9. A&M goes to 5-0 in it and 2-0 in the SEC. Mississippi State drops to 4-2, 0-2 in the SEC. State still have an opportunity, but we have talked about that gauntlet of SEC games that they're going to have to go through, and it's going to be difficult. Alabama and Vandy. Alabama, that game was, don't let the score fool you, man. That game was great. I think that fumble when Vandy had an opportunity to go up 2 touchdowns, that was a big fumble right there. And a lot of people will be like, well, that happened in the first half. You don't know how people game plan changes when mistakes like that happen. You don't know what happens in that situation that would have changed, and you don't know the momentum. And Vandy played, and I'm a believer of Vandy now.
Yeah, I don't think you can look at them in the same light you used to. I think they're, I mean, the college football playoffs is still on the table for them. I think if you're a new SEC team, you got a chance. Now they don't have the easiest schedule in the world, but I think with Pavia at quarterback, Clark Lee is a defensive guy, and he's got a good defense. I think they've got a chance to. I think their floor is like 8-4, and that's for Vandy's floor to be 8-4. That says a lot.
That's amazing, and very well can go 10-2.
Yeah.
And then avoid the whole SEC championship thing not having to worry about another loss, and then boom, you could mess around and slide into the playoffs. You got Texas Tech over Houston, 35-11. Georgia beats Kentucky. I was sitting there like, come on, Kentucky, do something. And I don't know why I was doing that. I was just wanting them to beat Georgia at Georgia, but it didn't happen. Georgia beats Kentucky 35-14. You got Cincinnati beating number 14 Iowa State, handing them their first loss of the season, 38-20. You got Michigan is sneaky slick. They're like, okay, y'all are not talking about us, and that's fine. We're glad you're talking about Penn State and Ohio State and Oregon, but we're gonna keep on strategically getting closer and closer and closer. And that's how I see a Michigan team. Michigan team is a team I would not want to play if my playoff line was if my playoff if the playoffs was on the line, I wouldn't want to play Michigan.
Yeah, I think they some people wrote them off after that Oklahoma game early in the year, and I think they're playing a true freshman quarterback, and he's you know week after week shown improvement, and they're right in the thick of it like they always are. I think the game, them in Ohio State's going to have huge implications when they get there.
Yeah. They beat Wisconsin 24-20. Notre Dame beat Boise State 28-7. Number 22, Illinois, and our quarterback, he went 19 of 22 for 390 yards. But good to see him being successful. He was an Ole Miss Rebel, and we understood completely why he transferred. But he's doing great. Illinois is 5-1, 2-1 in the Big Ten. Virginia beats Louisville 30-27, and that is our top 25. I do want to look at one other score. Is one thing that I do want to touch on the college before we move on. TCU beats Colorado 35-21. Colorado drops to 2-4 and 0-3 in the Big 12.
Yeah, but the score is kind of fooling you there. TCU threw a touchdown pass. I mean, they could have knelt it out and won 20. I think it'd been 28-21. They hit a touchdown pass with like 14 seconds on the clock, long touchdown pass. So score's kind of misleading. Colorado's a team that I just don't think they have enough to get over the hump. Like I don't think they're poorly coached. I don't think they're like there's position groups on the field that's like neglected in coaching. They just look like they don't have enough. But they're competitive. Like I think they've had a 14-0 lead against BYU, I think, and I think they had a lead against TCU for a little while. They've just not been able to.
Halftime is 14-14.
Okay.
So they were once again in the ball game. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, I think their coaching is top notch. I don't think their players that they have right now match the style of coaches that they have. I truly believe that they need more veteran. Not saying they're not going to recruit anybody on the high school scene, but I think they need more veteran players. Those second in the Power Five schools, you need those second stringer guys. You need those guys that play at Texas, whatever, and they're starting there. They need guys that have that veteran, mantra to match the style of coaches that they have. I don't believe that the kids that they're coaching can handle the style of coaching that they bring.
Yeah, I can't. That's fair. I don't know. I haven't seen like practice clips or anything. I can't confirm
I follow him. And you can tell the different. He's done more correcting this year than I think I seen him do this at Jackson State the first year. And, going into your third season somewhere, you should not have to go back to the do y'all want to be here type of coaching. And I follow him.
because you're 1 and 2. He had a lot of the Jackson State transfers and kind of the team. Do you think this is like his first real, like this is that like if he didn't have the guys transfer in that he had, he'd have been doing this year one? Do you think this is actually like a reset year one type of year for him?
I think that he set the model that he need to follow when he brought the Jackson State.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, you're going to have those unbelievable one in a lifetime talent like a Travis Hunter.
Well,
That don't happen all the time.
like he had guys that like Travis Hunter is a Heisman Trophy guy. Like that he makes a difference on that team, and he doesn't have that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, is
I
it
think I think it's the veteran because when he brought those players from Jackson State and he got the other players from like even the receiving core, they were veteran players. Not saying I think it's a lot of 1 year players that he might have went out there and got, and he do have more high school players on the team. But I just feel like their style of coaching is so sometimes you can be so superior that you can't reach what's down there. Your hand, your fist is so strong that it can't fit to the bottom of the cup.
yeah.
And only those that are close enough can handle what you're trying to do. You can't reach and grab those others because you know the generation that we're in now. A lot of his coaches are still old school minded. They come up under the think about it. Freaking Warren Sapp had Monty Kiffin as his defensive coordinator. You those type of coaches are dying out now, and you getting more of the Sean McVays, and not saying Sean McVay is don't have discipline, but you have more coaches that's more apt to
Players coach.
kind of be more with the players than about the game. Yeah, I think that's the reason that Bill Belichick is struggling at North Carolina. I don't see Bill Belichick don't him at college don't even go together.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that where Deion is right now and with his coaching staff, got a great coaching staff. I think scheme wise they are incredible because I do watch a lot of their practices. I watch a lot of their meetings. And granted, most of their stuff is clipped. You don't really get to see the mistakes that the coaches make as far as dealing with the players. But I just feel personally that the players is having trouble being reached by the coaching staff that they have.
Well, that's I I think that the the coaches that can adapt are the ones that are built to last. So if I feel like if they do see that that could be an issue, I think with their professionalism, they've had professional careers in the at the highest levels of football. Uh, Surely they'll be able to fix that, over time.
Okay, reports came out on yesterday. I think it was in the. I'm going to play this clip. It was during his press conference at the end of the game. We'll play this clip and then we'll spend a little time on it.
I think I got more blood clots, man. It don't make sense. I'm hurting like crazy. I got the doctor's appointment Monday to see what time it is. So that's what's going on. I'm not getting blood to my leg. That's why my leg is throbbing. I'm sorry to get that out, but thank you for noticing.
And that's what happened on yesterday. He did let the reporters know because there was a point that he had his shoe off
Yeah.
during the game. And Deion has dealt with blood clots. I think that's the reason that he lost a couple of his toes because they lost circulation there. He's been dealing with this issue. He had this issue at Jackson State. Matter of fact, he brought his doctors with him to Colorado. The same doctors and nurses that he was dealing with at Jackson State are the same ones that's with him. They were the one that found the issue with his bladder. He had bladder cancer this summer and had his bladder removed. And through that, he's documented it, has said, he don't know when he has to use the bathroom. He have to go make himself go. He can't control it anymore. And so he has dealt with so many health issues. Do you think it's just time to let it go?
I think that it's a profession that can shorten your life even quicker when you have issues like that. And I think that, everybody would rather see a Deion around, period. Not, the man could do anything he wanted to. I mean, he could go get into TV. He could go get into podcasting or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying one way or the other that he should or should not, but I think the football world's with him in any capacity than not having him at all. So
As a Deion fan, it pains me to see him struggle physically like he's doing.
yeah,
Him not being able, you get used to the limp. We've gotten accustomed to that, but to see it gradually gets worse, and we haven't been on our college level, but we know how time consuming coaching can be.
yeah.
You know more than I do because I left the field and I just left it alone. It's probably why I wasn't a successful football coach. But you would be out there for hours on top of hours. So, and that was on a high school level. Can you imagine the stress and like you said, the trauma, the mental trauma that he's putting on his body and having to do that and still be an effective coach?
I just don't like the blood clots are just things that you cannot play with. Like I just don't like. I don't like hearing that. I'm more worried about just the overall health than I am anything with the game. That when I heard, I thought that he had some surgeries done when he was at Jackson State, and we had moved past all of this part. I didn't know that this was a reoccurring thing
Yeah.
with him.
He's been dealing with that for I think the past 6 or 7 years now. He almost lost his leg. That's the reason why they took the toes off because it wasn't generating enough. So he elected to get his toes taken off so he can maintain his leg. But it's gradually getting worse. And like he said, he's going to see the doctors on. But I just hate seeing him in that manner because he really, like you said, he really loves what he do because he don't have to do this.
No.
He don't have to coach. Deion could make as much money as he want to make. If Deion Sanders had a podcast, it would be the number one podcast in sports entertainment, whatever. If he wants to do a game show, he'll be the best game show host ever because his charisma. He's just that guy. He don't mind being that guy. But just to see him go through what he's going through right now, it's painful to watch. And I like you said, I would much rather have a Deion that's just here than to watch him continue to struggle and labor. And then you compound that with a team that's not playing very well right now. Well, not winning. I can't say not playing very well, but not winning. And we're in an era that you got to win. They don't worry about how well you play. People want you to win.
Exactly, and I know it would have to bother him more to
Yeah.
not be able to do it at the highest level based off of health or resources, whatever it may be. That's probably as much detriment to. I know for the competitor in me, like it was not good for my mental health whenever I wasn't winning. I couldn't imagine the ultimate competitor like that, and to
People that love this stuff, it is depressing. A lot of people don't understand. Parents, family, they don't understand. They look at it as another game and they move on. They don't understand how much preparation goes into trying to coach. And you hearing fans. You got to deal with fans knocking you. You got to deal with parents knocking you. Even on the college level, it's getting now that parents got their own podcast or they got their own blog and they're talking about the coaches and they don't understand how much is going into it, how much you neglect your own family to try to be successful and the success is not there. And then you get criticism from the top and the bottom. Sometimes you're getting criticism from the middle as well because sometimes your coaches are undermining you. Trino, sometimes your coaches are undermining you, allegedly, are doing it. So to go through all of that, to be dealing with his health issues, and he hid the bladder cancer thing until the end. And then I know what a lot of people are trying to do. You know how people are. They'll try to say, oh, he's just trying to get sympathy right now because he's losing and he want a reason to say this is why he's losing. You know there's going to be some blogging. You know there's going to be some TV personalities out there doing that.
for the sake of a take, clicks and everything like that.
I mean, that's what they do. Just looking at the top 25, Ohio State remains at number one. Miami is number two. Oregon is number three. The University of Mississippi is number four. Texas A&M is number five. Oklahoma is number six. That is three SEC schools back to back to back. You got number seven, Indiana. Alabama is on their way back. They are number 8. Texas Tech is number 9. Georgia wraps up the top 10. You got LSU at number 11. You got Tennessee at number 12. You got Georgia Tech at 13. Missouri at number 14. Michigan at 15. Notre Dame at 16. Oh, they've been waiting for Notre Dame to win. Illinois is at number 17. BYU number 18. Virginia number 19. Even though Vandy lost, they're still in the top 25. They're number 20. You got Arizona State number 21. You got Iowa State number 22. Undefeated Memphis is number 23. South Florida is number 24. And to wrap up the top 25, Florida State's remain in the top 25 at number 25. So the SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams in the top 25.
And it's pretty neat that just for the local area, if the season ended today, Ole Miss would have a first round bye in the playoffs, and Memphis would be the Group of 5 automatic. They're the highest ranked Group of 5 team, so they playoffs.
Oh man, it's just the possibilities. It's almost like you just want. I want the season to keep going, but you always just want to just fast forward to the end of it so we can go ahead and celebrate. Man, that would be great. That would be awesome. Even though we won't get that home game, I don't care. I'll watch it on TV. I just want to get there, and I just want to be happy. I want to get to the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do want, because if we make it to the SEC championship, I'm going. I'm going. I'm going. I am going. So that will wrap up. That's going to wrap up our college football intake on this week. Those that are dealing with recovery problems, when you live and you're tired of all of the chalky, milky, just bad tasting protein, then we got something for you. It's called Clear Protein. That's right, Clear Protein. It's a recovery, it's fast acting, it's designed to help you wake up, make you be clear-headed, and the best part about it, you can mix it with water. If you ever tried to mix protein with water, it's not a good thought, and it's not, don't do it. I tried it, I threw up, don't do it. But with Clear Protein, it's gonna mix in, man, it's just like you drinking a sports drink or whatever it may be. It's clear, and not only that, on each one, you get 20 grams of protein on each scoop. So you can put how many scoops you want in it. You ain't got to worry about that chalky aftertaste. What you want to do, you want to go to www.clearprotein. That's KLEAR protein.com. You want to go in there, you want to order you a good helping of it. But then when you put the order in, go to that promo code, put in Coach25. We're doing this for y'all. We're doing this for you. We want to put you on the game, and we're going to give you our discount. You know how it is when you go to the store and say, man, give me your hookup. We're giving you the hookup. You get 20% off when you put in Coach25. That's Clear Protein, a new protein that's designed to take away the chalky taste. And when you get it, go ahead and tell somebody that the Coach and Coach podcast sent it to you. Coach, let's go ahead and let's look at the NFL on today, and we're going to wrap this thing up. We're doing good on the time, man. I've been working hard on that. Right now, the Cardinals are beating the Titans 21-6, but there's still a chance.
6 points, what?
Yeah, it's still a chance. Y'all kick 2 field goals still. Hey, hold on, man. Hold on. The Buccaneers, they're beating the Seahawks right now 27-21. You got the Lions doing what we expect to the Bengals 21-3. The AFC North look like garbage right now. You got the Commanders just took the lead. They're up 17-10 at Los Angeles. You have the Vikings this morning beating the Browns. I'm going to be honest with you. Gabriel didn't look bad.
I'll say I was kind of
Didn't look great, but he didn't look bad.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's not the same Minnesota defense that we saw in the past, but he didn't look bad.
Yeah.
And I think I would look better than Flacco right now. The Colts took the Raiders to the woodshed, beat them 40-6. I'm pretty sure that my niece and my brother-in-law are riding back from New Orleans with sad faces because they went to the game. I'm sure my sister is excited right now and happy and smiling and probably running her mouth. The Saints beat the Giants 26-14.
It looked like she was rubbing it in pretty good.
Yeah, she posted that picture and they looked very upset. I told my brother, he sit up there want to wear a Lawrence Taylor jersey. Man, Lawrence Taylor he been from the Giants. You gotta let it go, man. The Cowboys, they went to New York and they beat the Jets 37-22. The Jets are still winless. It's not looking good for the Jets to win a game this year because they look horrible. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They look horrible defensively. They look horrible offensively. I don't know if the head coach, even though this is in his first season, you go 0 for this year, you're probably going to be looking for another job next year. You got the Broncos beat the Eagles, came back and beat the Eagles. The Broncos scored 18 points in the fourth quarter. They were down 23-3 going into the fourth quarter, and they scored 18 unanswered points to beat the Eagles and give them their first loss. On the road, the Broncos win 21-17. You got the Carolina Panthers beat the Miami Dolphins. Now, is it time for McDonald? I've been asking for this for 2 weeks. Is it now time that he is he on his way out of here?
Well, if he is, I think it's time to just go ahead. You need to go ahead and blow the whole thing up with it. Like it's, So I'm wondering if it's a wait till the end of the year and do it so that you can move all your.
Do it now. Create some trade bait because the thing is, Tyreek is they're not finna give Tyreek that player option. That's over with. That's why he was smiling so big. He's like, I don't have to play for this team this year, and now they got to pay me, and I can go find me another team next year.
Yeah.
So the Panthers, they went to 2-3. They beat the Dolphins 27-24. You got the Houston Texans beating the Ravens 44-10. That's another situation where it's time to blow up the team. We stuck with Lamar's contract. Okay, it's time to ship everybody out of here. You go here, Harbaugh. You go coach with your brother. You go to wherever he's at right now. Go to Chargers. I need everybody gone. It's time to start over. 44-10. The Baltimore Ravens got beat by the Houston Texans at home 44-10. We look like the freaking Titans right now.
Nah, not that bad.
Oh, yes, it is. We're 1-4. Right now, it looked like only one team going to make it out of the North, and it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to win the division. And Tomlin going to have to stay there another year because he really didn't want to stay. He just did it because they wanted to, but he's going to win the North, and he's going to have to sign another extension, and he's going to stay another year. On Thursday night, you had I almost said the Vardaman Rams, but you had the San Francisco 49ers beating the LA Rams 26-23. And tonight, you have the New England Patriots traveling to Buffalo to play the Bills. You're looking at the past leader of the East going to the new leader of the East. And on Monday Night Football, you got the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Jacksonville to take on the 3-1 Jaguars. And that is the NFL in a nutshell. Coach, anything else we need to cover?
No, I think we hit on the big topics of the weekend. I guess the one thing I do want to say, I had somebody say this to me. They were like, "You need to mention this." So I'm going to. We're going to go back to Bruce for just a second.
All right.
I really hope that no one, there's a lot of people there Friday night, and I hope that one loss, people don't forget what the past several years have been. Stay on the bandwagon.
Yes.
Games.
Don't throw it away.
This is still your own pace to have the best season you've had in a long time. So enjoy it. Relax. It's going to be okay.
Coach, I heard a preacher say this one time. If you bite your tongue, you don't take your teeth out. Hey, you bite your tongue, you don't take all your teeth out because you bit your tongue. Don't throw it away. We still need the fans to show up. We need y'all. We need you more now. We need you for East Union. I don't know what East Union. Remember, if you went to East Union last year, the little light show, they like to make me have a seizure. So we need to get them back for the light show. So we really need everybody to be in the house on this Friday. Man, this Thursday night, and go ahead, Coach.
From the post I've seen on Facebook, I do think the community's behind this team. I I just want to say it because I hope that's the case, And is the East Junior game, is that Thursday night this week?
Let me make sure. I think it's. Let me look at my real schedule.
Because we might have to discuss if
It is. Woo! It is Thursday night.
Have to figure out what.
So we're gonna have to probably. That's a good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We
might have to have a Tuesday night show.
Yeah, think of something to do.
Yeah, we might have to have a Tuesday night show. So I'm going to have to let our interviewer know that we can't interview him on Thursday night. We'll have to get him on another night. But that is a Thursday night game. Coach, you are good at this, man, because I forgot all about it. This is going to be a short week. It's going to be a short week. So the game is Thursday night, but make sure that after the game, you check out our Hurry Up Offense. That's when we give you a recap of the game immediately after game. Go to our TikTok page and it will be there waiting for you. We will have a couple of videos on TikTok today. Hey, we appreciate all the love and support. Man, I'm telling you, this stuff we enjoy what we do. We just wanted to talk to y'all. That's all we want to do. We thank our guest on Friday night, man, Coach Gladney, Coach Chase, man, appreciate y'all. I told him that I said Chase was just right at home, and man, the stories that I am gonna clip some of them stories and I'm gonna post them because the stories were funny just to hear the different perspective and to hear the stories. So we do hope and that y'all continue to ride with us, and we do appreciate everybody's support and everything that you're doing. It's good when you go around and people ask you about the show. Are y'all going to do the show? The kids, they wanting to hear their name called on the show. So we truly appreciate the love that we're getting from everyone. And we're going to continue. We work hard. I will say this. We work hard at this. We don't just get here and throw stuff up. We really work. Coach work. Matter of fact, we was on the phone for 30 minutes yesterday trying to figure out other ways to make this show better. And we got to have good wives to do that because they have to allow us to do this work. And Coach, his wife is very supportive and instrumental. My wife at least give me the freedom to do it and to work on this stuff. And even today, she said, I see you tonight. I said, no, our show is early today. So she got excited that I won't be coming in like at no 8 or 9 o'clock. So, man, we sure appreciate everybody. And we're gonna see y'all. We're gonna go live Tuesday night. We'll go live Tuesday night. We do have a junior high game. I will have some junior high clips on Monday night to post on our page. Bruce Junior High, they have their last junior high game Monday versus Vardaman. So I will be there, and I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some in-game junior high intake. I'm gonna be on the sideline, and I'm gonna make a couple of videos, and then we're gonna post it to give the junior high kids some love. And I do want to shout out Bruce Band. Bruce Band went to Northeast on yesterday, came back with ones. And a lot of people be like, well, that don't matter. Yes, it do, because when you haven't been getting ones in a while, hats off to, I call a coach because I said anytime you got to deal with Dragonfly, you're a coach. Coach Gracie Barnes, she have really turned this band program around, and they went on. They will be in Grenada this week, this Saturday. So if you're in the Grenada area and you can get there to support our band, then we really do. We will appreciate you. Man, hey, been a good show today, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday night. Coach, any other thing?
Man, just thanks for everybody for tuning in and supporting us. It's been great.
Hey, if you lose a ball game, get back in the film room on Sunday. Monday, be ready to practice and start this thing on over again. Don't sit there and waddle in your loss in life or in the game. Keep on rolling. I guarantee you this stuff will play it out. From Coach Benji, Coach Marks, we'll see you on Tuesday night. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We'll see you on Tuesday.